Hey everyone, let's talk about something a bit more chill and nothing too crazy in this video. Desk tours. Being a game dev means you're pretty much working from your computer all of the time, whether it is for making art, whether it's for writing code, or like we're doing, like editing the videos that you're watching right now. All of this happens right here behind me for the most part. And of course, I'm not alone, so I'm also going to introduce Thomas's desk later in this video. But I figured that, because I work here so much, like these workspaces evolve to my needs. This is built upon like 6 years of me working from this room with this computer. And of course, things change to get the most optimal setup. I personally love to watch these kinds of videos, the desk tours as well, because they really give a good glimpse into A, who is the person? Like, are they like very clean and neat and organized? And B, maybe sometimes you'll pick up some cool stuff that, hey, I can do this at my desk as well. So I'm gonna switch camera and I'm gonna walk you through it all. All right, so here you have another view of my desk, basically where I sit. But before we get into the actual desk, let's talk about the most important thing, a chair. This is an Herman Miller Aeron. They're crazy expensive, I know, but they're really awesome and they're amazing for your back. I could not be working here that much if I didn't have this chair. So it's expensive, yes, but if you do permanently work here, just get one. And then next up we have the main desk. There's a lot of stuff going on, but let's start with the 3 displays because that's probably what's taking up most of the screen space right now. I've got a 34-inch ultrawide, a 27-inch 1440p, and then also a vertical 1080p monitor that I use for like my emails and stuff. This is generally the working layout I use the most. My 27-inch display, I only got that very recently. Up before then there was a 24-inch 1080p, but I was just too bothered by the resolution difference between the 2 displays and also like how the heights didn't match. Then I got the main ultrawide. I love ultrawides. I've been using them since the first generation LG came out, and now I've upgraded it more recently to a like higher refresh rate one. But apart from that, they're really good, especially because in Unity, what this allows me to do, if I actually come on here, is I can have my game set on a 16:9 resolution, and I still have so much space like in my inspector. I have multiple places for windows. I have a very good hierarchy, and I still have like a pretty decent and like large game window. Now, since I'm sitting here at my desk already, let's talk a bit more about the peripherals. My keyboard, I know it looks disgusting. I try washing it, but this is just 10 years of like grease and sweat and whatever drenched into it. This is a Corsair K70. It's the one with the OG logo even. I bought it back in 2012, I think, or 2013. It is really old, but it just refuses to die. The only thing that's broken is like this one LED is permanently purple. And I like keyboards, but it's just not worth replacing this one for because it still works perfectly. I guess when we're here, I may as well just mention, I have a pretty unique thing. I've never seen anyone actually use this. I have a Stream Deck. I like did some macros on it and whatever. I usually use it for like Premiere. It's really nice because I don't want to reach very far. With this, I can like very quickly like assign buttons and they change along the way. Like the software is pretty easy to use. I don't use it that much, but having it like this close is probably the only time that I actually will use it. If I put it just a bit further away, I would never use it. Really cool for shortcuts and stuff, for example, like Premiere, although by now I've gotten used to the very weird keyboard shortcuts where I just press 4 different buttons. My microphone is a basic Rode NT USB Mini. I don't know, sounds good enough for like voice calls because these videos are recorded with a separate kind of microphone. And then the mouse is a Logitech G502. So if we zoom out a bit, we have my big monitor here, and underneath it, you can see my whole stack of controllers, because Songs of Average 8 is going to be very controller friendly. That's something that I wanted. So I have a Xbox Series controller, I have a DualSense, I have a Steam controller, I don't know the exact name. And then all the way in the back, there is a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I usually just mainly use the DualSense and the Xbox because they're the most common ones. I use the Steam one if I want to cry because it's just very painful to get working correctly if you're not using the Steam layer, which we need to test for our game. Then here we have my Remarkable. So before that, I used to have a little whiteboard here that I would use to like write down like very quick ideas that I need to think about that I shouldn't forget. I stole that idea from CodeMonkey. He covered that in like his desk tour. I upgraded to a Remarkable recently because they sent one out and I really like it. I use it also just to like write notes, journaling, because I journal a lot. Having something like to write very long things on is really nice. It stores like video ideas, it stores things I need to think about with the business, things like that. Moving along, I have a CD player. I know, right? This is basically, I haven't used this in a year, but it's like, I have it, so may as well just have it here because it actually serves as an extra stand for my lamp, because otherwise it wouldn't be able to go over the 34-inch ultrawide. So It works out in the end. Can't get rid of it because otherwise the lamp, like, it would look very shitty if it would have to be angled upwards. I like the very ambient glow this gives in the dark. Then we've got a webcam here. It's a Logitech C925. It's 1080p. I got it because the C920s weren't available due to COVID and things like that. And yeah, those are the main things. I still have some gunner glasses and some lip balm, and I have a septum that I got from Oblivion's collector's edition that I just use to fidget whenever I'm not sure what to do with my life. And that's pretty much the whole like basic desk setup. Let me give you another zoom out. This is where I do most of my work. My one honorable mention is I can basically pack all of this down into a single laptop, but this is just much more comfortable. So that's pretty much my like main working desk tour. Now let's go and take a look at how Thomas does his work.
Everything went fine. Marnix should have said it's now my turn. So if you don't have communication issues, we should get a tour of my desk right now. Before we take a deep dive into my desk setup, the desk I'm using is a Flexispot E7 Pro, and Flexispot was nice enough to send one to me and sponsor this video. So before we dive into it, let's just talk a bit more about the desk itself. First of all, the frame is like super sturdy. It's built like an absolute tank. I had a lot of fun like sitting on the desk, going up and down and seeing how it actually handled me with ease. On top of that, I've used standing desks before, but none of them actually had memory functions. So I had to like always press and hold the button to go up and down. But here I can have like 4 different profiles where I set the certain heights that I like use for example, standing, sitting, and then 2 others for when I like want to do something crazy, whatever. And it's really useful. What's also pretty cool is that they come in a variety of styles. So I just got a black frame with a black top, but if you want a lighter wood finish or like a full bamboo one they also sell, or a different size, you can also do that as well. And they are pretty customizable in general. So that's pretty dope. And honestly, a seated standing desk is something I would recommend to anyone, because if you're like me and you basically are behind a PC all day, and you just always sit down, that's not good for your health at all. If you're like me and there's no one around that can help you build the desk, the manual does suggest you to build it with someone else, like get a friend. But if you're like me and don't really have friends, and the one you would force to do it, for in this case Marnix, it's not in town, you can still do it on your own. It's pretty easy to build, like the instructions are very clear, but I was still able to build it fully by myself. If you're interested in the sit standing desk, they're linked down below where you can get your own Flexispot desk. Like I said, they're very customizable, so just take a look. They have different price ranges and you can get something that suits your needs. Thank you Flexispot for sponsoring this video and sending an E7 Pro to me. I really love it. Back to the tour. So let's dive right into it. We start on the right hand side and you can see I have a laptop here. It's basically doing for my other job, but what's really cool about this one is behind it, it's this thing here. It's a USB-C hub. The USB-C hub is basically for power, for display, for USB, all of those things. And it's just one cable that I have to plug in my side of my laptop and I'm good to go. That is then connected to this one right over here, which is also a USB hub, I guess, but this one has a button. So by pressing the button, I can easily switch my input between my desktop, which you see here on my main monitor, and my laptop, as well as things like my microphone and things like that. Let's then dive into the main screen. You can see there's Unity open. This is the thing I use for Unity, for Rutter, for programming in general. And it's a AOC 32-inch 1440p 144Hz monitor. Say that 3 times fast. It's a pretty good monitor. It's not the best, but it's decent. Here you can see a Logitech C920 webcam. It's pretty good value in my opinion. It's 1080p, just decent quality in low light, because I have a window over here and it handles it pretty okay, like the best I've seen in the webcam at least. So if you're looking for a webcam, I can recommend that one. If we then move to the side, I know it's not the best, it looks a bit ugly, but there is basically an ultrawide in portrait mode. This is because, my desk is, I don't have a lot of room because like there's a slope here, so I had to put it like that. But this is basically the monitor that I use for my Spotify, as you can see, but as well Discord, ChatGPT, Unity documentation, all those things usually happen on there so I can focus my real work over there. It's a LG monitor, it's like 29 inches. Not sure about spec anymore because it's pretty old by now, but it's a decent monitor for a secondary display. If we then move under my main display again, you can see I'm pretty old school. It's an Xbox 360 controller, and honestly, I love it. I don't really like having to deal with wireless stuff, so this is just wired and it always works, which is pretty dope in my opinion. This is also the thing I use mainly for testing Songs of Everjade, which is what you can see here, the main menu. So yeah, that's basically what I use to test the game. If we then move to the side, there's a DualSense as well. The DualSense is, well, it's pretty good. I like it, but this one is broken. So yeah, if Marnix, when you're watching this, I already got a return ticket. I know I just have to return it, so I get Yeah, I can get a new one, but don't complain, please. Also, pretty good control anyway. Now, for my keyboard, yeah, this is a Keychron K8 Pro, which is a pretty good keyboard. I use it when I'm on the go because it's wireless with my laptop. But when I'm here, I always plug it in to the side with a cable. It's like a little switch and you can choose what it does. It's a pretty good value keyboard in my opinion. There's like 140 or so euros, which is decent, I guess, for a mechanical keyboard that sounds and feels so great. But as you can see, I'm an Azerty boy, or at least I was, because basically the rest of Bite Me bullied me into getting QWERTY keycaps and a QWERTY laptop, so I am soon going to make the switch, and I hope my typing speed won't be suffering too much from it. But hey, let's see about that. Then to the side there is a Corsair, I think Harpoon mouse. It's a basic mouse, but it has like 2 programmable buttons at the side, which I use for copy and paste usually. There's also like a DPI switch at the top. If you're like a hardcore gamer, you can change it when you're in game or whatever. Then also, as you can see, a wired Corsair headset. The exact type I'm not sure of, but Marnix will put it up on screen, I'm sure of it. But I really didn't want a wireless headset because I always wear this when I'm on the PC basically. I never use the monitor speakers, and I don't really use other speakers as well, as you can see. So I always use this one to listen to music, to have voice calls, whatever. So I didn't want to deal with switching batteries or changing batteries, charging them, whatever. I didn't want to deal with any of that, so wired is the way to go. I'm old school. And then over here we have a 5-fine mic on a monitor arm. And basically this is a pretty decently valued mic. I think it's a 5-fine K336. So yeah, it's a pretty decent mic. I use it mainly for Discord calls, for other conference calls, things like that. It's a pretty good value in my opinion. So I think that's about the main setup of my desk. If you want to know, my PC is over there, but we won't dive into the specs of that one. But I hope you enjoyed it. Marnix, back to you.
So yeah, that's the desk. It's pretty good. I don't really have that much change I want to make anymore. I want to try experimenting with upgrading this monitor to a slightly bigger one still, or like one with less bezels, but it's not really a priority right now. Getting a keyboard at some point would be nice, but I just can't get over throwing this one out because it's just solid. Anyways, like I said, it's a bit of a different style of content, but maybe you picked up something interesting. If you stuck around till now, I also want to talk to you a bit more about that. This is going to be the last Sunday upload for a while. We're switching back to 2 videos every week. We tried 3 for a month and we have some mixed results about it. So we're gonna drop back to 2 for now. If you have any questions about that, go to our Discord. I can answer them there. But basically, if you're new here, we're game developers. We've previously released the game already. So if you're interested in just following our journey and learning more about being an indie game developer, be sure to head down below and subscribe. As like I said, we upload these videos twice a week. That's all I had to say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!